So a little bit about the event today. We're going to be focusing on how to build visibility and stand out in corporate America. I know it's a trending topic, especially for young professionals who have transitioned into a virtual environment, and it has become even more challenging to stand out, especially during the past year and going forward. So to share some great nuggets of advice, we have with us today Coach Kwan, who has about 15 years of experience and has been working on helping international students with their career goals here in America. And then our next speaker, we have Nana, who again has over 15 years of experience as an international executive recruiter at a multi-billion-dollar company. So before we proceed into our Q&A, let's have Kwan and Nana speak a little bit about themselves. So Kwan?
Absolutely, Farheen. And before I kickstart, I know that I think majority of our friends today already know me very well. So before I start, please join me in congratulating Farheen because her internship at Exelon has been extended and she's got the new offer. So yes, let's use that reaction, right? This celebration. Congratulations, Farheen. You are amazing. This is a great achievement and she's graduating this December. So I'm so proud of you. Okay. All right. So for our friends today that I haven't met before, my name is Kwan Siegel and my student call me Coach Kwan. I am career coach for international students and immigrants in the US. My past life is okay, before I continue, could you please mute yourself because we got some background noise right now. Please click mute. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about what I do for international students. So I would say that what I do right now, I am helping the population that is facing triple challenges is work visa issues, right? Whenever you say that you need work sponsorship in the future, the company gets silent and don't want to talk to you anymore. And that's number one challenge. The second challenge is that you don't have professional network here in the US. You have to start brand new, right, from scratch. And that's the second challenge. The third one is you were not born and raised here. So cultural and language barriers is such a, very chaotic, right? To learn about how to network with people, to learn about how you can respond to any recruiter's email and all the job market nuances right there. So I am here to support this population who are trying to overcome these barriers. So about my background, my past life is a human capital consultant, and I have more than 15 years of work experience. Time flies, okay, when you have fun with companies like BMW, Accenture, and Deloitte. And now I am the founder of my own company, ICOA. And I decided to found my company because when I first came here in 2014, I overcame all those barriers that non-American candidates usually experience. And through that trials and errors, I finally got a job offer at Deloitte. And from that experience, students reached out to me and asked for my help. So I started by volunteering, helping international students, and decided to found ICOA in 2017. So far, 100% of students that signed up for the 90-day program has landed jobs, and we have seen great achievement from students from the ICOA talent platform as well. And I'm so proud and grateful of having this opportunity to coach amazing students that joining us today. So, and next is Nana. I invited Nana back because she is an amazing talent leader. She's so knowledgeable about how to build your visibility in the workplace because she have been there and done that, and also help coach many emerging leaders in the organization. And Nana got some great news to share with you at the end of the webinar as well. Nana, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and hi everybody. I saw some similar faces, so nice to meet you again. And for those who don't know me, my full name is Nanapat. So in short, Nana. And over 20 years, I've been working with leaders. My past life has been in publication, so interviewing a lot of successful leaders, politicians, billionaires, and not many people get a chance to do this. I learned that early years in my career. So when I use all the wisdom and tips that they've been sharing with me on those success stories, I use that in my career to grow my career as international executive recruiter. And then my last job with Estée Lauder Luxottica, the company that produced Rebrand, Oakley, if you haven't heard of that. So I went to Paris for that role. Helping leaders grow in the organization and bringing in as a talent leader, talent acquisition, bringing in a lot of high potential talents within the organization. So along those 20 years, there's a lot of nuggets that I use myself, and I want to be able to share with you all. I believe in pay forward. So it's important that I help future leaders like you are. Nice to meet you. So we can move on, yeah.
Thank you, Juan and Nana, for the wonderful introduction. So diving in, one of the big questions that are on the minds of every intern or every contractor is that looking back on your career, what is one advice you can offer interns and contractors to turn their current position to a full-time position? Nana, would you like to take that?
Sure. Whether you are interns or you are contractor, you work for a company and you have a position already. So my biggest advice will be just become a wow factor and don't turn yourself into a commodity. There are many people who have the same skills as you are, and there are many people out there, students out there that doing the same thing. So how can you be a wow factor by adding value to the organization and bring a lot of fresh eyes, knowledge, analytical skills that you have, whatever strength you have, you leverage that in the role. And then you add value to the organization. Whatever that you see the different, you'll be able to add that. So become that wow factor to the organization. And that will be my suggestion. Be the person that they don't want to lose you. So if you are a contractor, I don't want to lose this contractor to the competitor. If you are an intern, and they will spot that intern and then convert that into a full-time or extend the internship. And that has been done. And I saw many of the interns that rock it as well. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, that's this really wonderful statement, Nana, right? Make them say that I cannot let this person go to the other competitors out there. I need to keep this person inside the organization, whether to turn them into a full-time position or extend your internship like Farheen is experiencing right now, right, Farheen? You know that if the excellent let you go, there will be lots of competitors want to interview you and put you on board for sure. And for me, I can also add my own story. Okay, like fresh out of college when I got my first job at BMW Group Financial Services. Well, it was a happy time, but the position that I got was a contractor's role. It was not a full-time offer. Why? It was because it was just the administrative role. I was an executive assistant to the CEO. So day-to-day job, just like scheduling, welcoming guests, right? Yeah, and it's very office-based role. So the company didn't have the budget to make this role become a full-time permanent role, right? But within a year, it was a long time ago, guys, like 20 years ago. So I cannot remember like certain number of months. But within a year, I got a chance to convert my role into a permanent role, got a headcount from BMW AG in Germany. What did I do? I become visible. I became visible. I get to know the boss of my boss's boss. Okay, they know this person, the regional head of BMW in Pacific Asia region. He came to Bangkok office, and I got a chance to introduce myself, share a little bit of my experience working there. And what did I do next? I also share my vision about what the organization really needs. And at that time, we were growing from 30 people in the team to 100 people. And I said, we needed to have the employee communications, internal communications, someone responsible for that role. And I volunteered to be the person who started developing e-newsletter, organize daily, not daily, quarterly workshops, right? All those internal communication that is necessary to engage employees. So from that point, my boss's boss talked to my boss and they agreed to convert my contract role into a full-time position. And don't just jump right into your boss's boss. You also need to engage your boss as well. First of all, you need to build trust with your boss and make sure that they will support you, right? When their boss mentions something about me, they agree right away. So now you have your people game. Everyone that will be a decision maker for your position, you engage them, make them believe in you and trust in you. And that is my recommendation.
I want to add on that a little bit. Is that that's a very, very great example for you to take on when you see the opportunity to add value, like Kwan saw the opportunity to add value, then you raise your hands and then you say, this is the idea. And most of the people who don't want it to become visible, or and don't say this, it's not my responsibility. Never say that. Never say that. Just be helpful. I raise my hand. I want to volunteer on this, just to make it happen, because it's very important for the organizational success. And that's very important, because that will help not only your boss to look good. This is your job. You need to make your boss look good, because when your boss look good, then the boss will support you. Not for you to look good. Make your boss look good by raising the hand, and then the boss will be helpful to you and promoting you as a superstar employee, someone who's very helpful. On top of that, build a network, which I guess we will go a little bit further, out. We'll build a network, the boss of the boss, the stakeholders, and other people within the company whenever that you can. I think that will be the extended explanation of being the wow factor.
Thank you, Kwan and Nana. And I think I can second that and speak to that within all my internships that I have had in the US, I think being a part of like volunteering yourself and extending yourself to help out, and as well as building those meaningful connections through genuine curiosity and interest, goes a really long way. You never know how, a connection can lead you to either, reaching out to another person or another opportunity that you may not be aware of. So a follow-up to that question, to both Nana's and Kwan's point about making impact through, through volunteering, or, trying to think of innovative ways. How do you go about identifying obstacles and proposing that impactful change, be it as an intern, because interns have 10 weeks max to make an impact. So how do you go about doing that? Nana, going back to you.
How do you make an impact? Make an impact by contributing your strength and leverage your strength to the position that you have. First thing that you need to know, what is the exact assignment that you need to achieve? That is the minimum. This is a very minimum requirement that you need to know. For you to be visible, you need to extend more than that. So anybody can do the minimum. So if you're not gonna do the minimum, don't need to raise your hand to do anything else, because that job might not be a good fit for you. If you don't enjoy it, if you don't like it, you can't make an impact. And if that minimum seems like an very easy job, get it done fast, better, faster, more efficient, that is the way to do it. So that's how you make an impact on your role. And then you raise your hand, hey, I can do this much better, and that will make the business grow better. Or if I can change this thing that you have, then this department will have this thing better. So better, faster, more efficient. So you look into those things to make an impact.
Kwan?
All right. Why, Nana shared about how to make an impact. Raise your hands. But before raising your hands, make sure that your role, you have done your best with the job that you assigned to do. That reminds me of the time when I worked at Accenture. There was a leadership module as well when they evaluate the performance of a consultant.
Cool. Popo said that she wants
hold on. Shoshan, I think yes, perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So come back to Accenture model. If I'm not wrong, okay, I remember one thing that they review is first, you got to be a good operator. As Nana mentioned, did your best with what you are assigned to. Next is be a value creator, add value. And I'm not sure about the third one, but I remember the meaning of it. Maybe something like, I think it's people, something about people, okay? Like people coach or mentor. So the last one is about how you can help others achieve their goals or their roles. So Accenture used these three modules, okay, to evaluate a top performer. If you hit all three, you are amazing, okay? So come back to the question, within that short period of time as an intern, how can you make an impact? I can just give one quick tip, okay? Is to become visible is to speak up in the meeting, because most of the time, even me myself in my young age or first time working here in corporate America, I used a little bit of the Thai culture, didn't speak up in the meeting so much, right? But then I learned from my colleagues that, wow, they really speak up in the meeting. And actually the question that they asked in the meeting was not really a super smart question. It was very simple. But when they ask the question, it shows that they care. Do the same, okay? When you are new in the organization, use your I am new card. You are still new, you can ask any questions. If there are any terminologies, jargons that the company, your employer use and you don't know, asking the questions, that's okay to ask. But please always speak up in the meeting, because you need to show that you care. And that is the first thing that you have to do. And after that, once you get to know people in the organization, right? Make yourself become visible. Network with people across functions and ask them about their goals and how you as an intern can help them achieve their goals. Always ask that questions, and you never know. You will find an impact that you can make without trying to figure it out by your own. Ask people, what is your goal? And how me as an intern that will have 3 months here help you achieve that. All right. So thanks, Farheen. Would love to hear from your experience too, actually.
So from my experience, I remember from one of my first internship experience, it was a 10-month internship opportunity at an investment firm called Legg Mason. They got acquired now. So during my interview, one of the hiring managers, a piece of advice that she shared was that, during meetings, always, the quote that she shared was brutal candor with respect. And what she meant by that is during meetings, if you have something to say, voice it, but in a respectful manner, because you never know, the idea that you might have to voice might spark an idea in someone else, be it however small or large. That's how ideas work, and that's how collaborations really work. And that's how you can make an impact, is, voicing whatever idea, however small or big it may be, just voice it, and you never know who's listening. There's a question on the chat that says, how can you volunteer in a tech company? And if yes, and how? I think from my experience, I would say in a tech company, I feel like it's a lot more easier in the sense that because it's everything software, technical skills based. So you can always volunteer by either trying to figure out what's the next big project that they're working on, the next platform that they're working on, take on either online courses, reaching out to a community that are experts and building those connections and learning more about it. So going back to one of my other experiences that I had, it was for a nonprofit. And I think with nonprofits, we know that things and change is a lot slower, but I know that there were many improvements that could be made. So I did go out of my way to learn, like Tableau, because at that time, Tableau was a big thing and all the companies were trying to implement it in their work processes. So learning about that platform, and as well as trying to figure out like what parts of data can be transported into Tableau, and and help create effective dashboards that could, tell a meaningful story for the company. So little things like that, I feel like in tech company, I feel like it's a lot more easier just because, you just have to display your skills and your technical knowledge, and you can do that really easily through certification, reaching out to people, and online courses, of course. And of course, networking too, right? Just reaching out to someone and just saying like, I just want to learn more about this process. Vishrit, I saw you unmute yourself. Did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, how do you approach them for a volunteer position? Like how do you know if there's a volunteer position in the company?
So I'm going to share one of my experience. So the company that I was talking about is the World Trade Center Institute. It's based in Maryland. So during my interview, I was just talking to them, just as a conversation. And within the conversation, I told them that, I was an international student, and luckily he was too. So we were able to relate to that, relate our struggles and, our goals. And maybe he liked me during the interview. He mentioned like, there's this volunteering opportunity that's coming up that we need volunteers for. Would you be interested? And at that time, I couldn't do the internship, so I had to reject it only because I had a previous internship. So it was conflicting with when they wanted to onboard me. So that said, come for the volunteering opportunity. We have a great networking event. And he actually, when I graduated, he said, reach out to me, and then, we'll make it happen, like with the internship. And he didn't have to interview again. He just took me in after my graduation. So I just think, I think building connections and reaching out, I guess, and, sharing your story, because you never know who can relate to your story.
Right.
I don't know if Nana or Kwan had anything to add to that.
I love it. Nana, please go ahead.
Yeah, I can add to this in a way that, the way that you don't want to be commodity. Anyone can just have the technical skills, but what you wanted to realize that what's important to you and what kind of value you can add in that organization, because in each organization have different needs, have different things, have different ways that they operate, and they value different things. So whatever that you have that is a match, whatever your story is a match to that organization, then you'll be a match. But if you reach out with desperation, that whatever that, oh, I have this and I want this thing, is not going to work, because then you compete with, I don't know, 100,000 of graduates Just so that's why you need to be very unique in the way that you present yourself and your story to make yourself more visible.
Yes, completely agree. So you all go to icwa.com/webinar and watch our previous one called storytelling, right? Become visible in corporate America. So it's about how you can build your story. It's so important. Okay, it's not about SQL, R, Power BI, right? So yes,
That's a minimum.
that's the
That's a
minimum.
minimum.
You're not a commodity. That's so right, Nana. I love this.
And you
Thank
are
you so
not,
much.
because you are different. So you are not.
True.
So bear in mind that all of you have different things, different strengths, and you are not commodity. Just bear in
Yes.
mind.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I had no idea that we can volunteer in tech company. I thought it was easier with non-techs. But yeah, thank you for coming up with that. Thank you.
Actually, there are lots of students at ICAWay before, you know, they graduated, they volunteered the tech company, especially startup. Have you heard about crushbase.com?
Crunchbase, yeah.
Yeah, right. So that, let me share in the chat box here. You can also look into the companies, you know, new companies that are still growing and they need people to come in and volunteer. What happened to my control panel? I'm trying to share right now. So yeah, just do more research, you know, connect with the founder of the company and say how you can help them. And there's a possibility that it can turn into an internship, a paid internship, a full-time job before you climb up your ladder to a big tech firm. That reminds me of the story of one of our students. And she started with one tech company, a fast-growing tech company in New York in fintech. During that time, when she was a product manager there, Amazon reached out to her. She's now enjoying her new role as a senior product manager at Amazon, but started from a smaller company.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the question, Vishrit. Everyone else, if you have any questions, please leave it on the chat so I can ask Coach Kwan and Nana for their wonderful nuggets of advice. So a question that I have is, as young professionals, we're always looking to grow and build ourselves. So what is a book that has made a difference to how you view your professional life, or how you approach your professional life, and just your perspective in general? So I'll give it to Kwan.
Me first. All right. I know that Nana got lots of great books and I will buy them this weekend too. But okay, I can start first. I can talk about podcasts and I'm going to share that in the chat box too. Okay. One of the podcasts that I really love and I learn a lot from their conversation is from Adam Grant. He's the organizational psychologist and this podcast is hosted by TED, right? And they talk a lot, they talk a lot about corporate America, how you can have work life, how you can enjoy your life at work. And part of it is also networking. And there is one episode that talk about networking for an introvert. Listen to that. So good. Okay. That is my first recommendation. And the second one, since I love networking topics so much, you know, why I love it? Because I used to hate it so much as well. But I know that it's so necessary. The book is called Never Eat Alone, okay, by Keith Ferrazzi. He's a great entrepreneur and he said about relationships are a crucial part of both professional and personal life. They can open doors and bring success and fulfillment that you could not even imagine, that you could not even achieve on your own, right? Nobody can be successful on their own. Okay, you need right. You need like a team like this, me and Nana and Farheen, right? So you need a team. You need someone who can support you to help you grow. So those are two resources that I recommend.
And Never Eat Alone is a great book. And for you who just studying networking and you know starting out, it's a great book to read as well. I highly recommend it because I am very impressed with Keith, how he just go to different country and just be having lunch with the country influencer. So when many people have to line up for appointments, but Keith just did it like that. So it's very, very good, executive presence and networking skills that he has for sure. So the book I had, the one that I always like, and it's always remind me of how you can get to where you are, and it won't get you where you want to go. So what got you here won't get you there, is by Marshall Goldsmith. And then another one, Marshall Goldsmith, he's a world #1 executive coach. And of course, he's, I look up for him because I'm an executive coach, helping leaders to go to the next level. And he was talking about how leaders get stuck and couldn't excel from where they are because they are in the way of their own success. So that's one thing for you. You are your own leader, so you have self-leadership and don't get in the way of your own success. Another book is, this one is called Be So Good That They Can't Ignore You. This one is by Cal Newport. So Cal Newport, he's talking about how people were talking about, oh, you have to find your purpose, you have to find your passion, and you will never work a day in your life. But finding purpose and finding your passion is a life work. So it's a life work and it changes over time. So what you enjoy today might not be the same as you in your 40s. Like Juan and I probably have changed the passion over the past 20 years. And
Don't
that,
tell them about that, our age, Nana. Use our Asian genes to fool people.
So yeah, I always tell people I'm always like 39.
Right, stay right there.
So, and then the last book that I highly recommend is called Edge. So let me find it. So Edge is Turning Adversity into Advantage. This one is by Lola Huang, and I got to learn in her workshop as well. So how you turn your adversity and your story as an international student into an advantage. So she's Asian and she's Harvard professional. She's professor. So a winning Harvard Business School professor. That's Lola Huang. So let me copy paste this one so to make it easier for you guys to find a book. Here we go. So edge, you can find your edge. That's why I was talking about be a wow factor, and that's the edge that you need to find. But before you find the edge, you need to know your essence. And I think I can share the framework. We still have a little time left.
That would be amazing, Nana.
Yeah. So
yeah, we still have some time, about 20 minutes left.
So let me quickly share the framework about the visibility. Let me share screen. Can you see that? Okay.
Yes.
So first one is called essence, right? So you find your essence, what you stand for, and what Simon Sinek is talking about is your why. If you haven't heard about Simon Sinek, then you can find him as well as another good book to read. And then your edge. This is what Lola Huang is talking about. You identify your identity, your edge, and what makes you unique. And then you use that uniqueness to express, and then you share with your prospective hiring person, your prospective network, or something that you can add value in, so you can find over here what you can do differently that other people can't, or what is the minimum that you have, and then you have on top of that. If you look into your students' peers, you are different. So that these are the things that you have to understand. And then when you enlarge, we're talking about network. So how do you enlarge the network? Is here you find your network, and then you find your advocate. So Kwan found her advocate, right? So she's talking to one person at interview, and then she connect with that person, and that person became her advocate to talk to some other people, to share with her about the opportunity. And then Kwan has her manager as an advocate. But how to become an advocate for yourself, and how can you turn your network into your advocate? You need this. You need essence. You need to know your edge. You need to know how to express them in the right way, and it's just not a commodity. And then you elevate. You continue to do it over and over and over again. So to elevate your brand, and that's how you can become visible. So I will stop here now.
Amazing
I hope that's
framework.
helpful.
Thank you, Kwan and Anna. And I think one of my favorite books, or two of my favorite books, is one by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think it's a great book on networking. And the second one is by Brene Brown. I think it's called Dare to Lead. Sorry, not Dare to Lead, Call to Courage. And I think that book talks about like vulnerable. And I think it's very important, especially in workplaces. Sometimes when you're sharing a story, to be a little bit vulnerable. If you're not, let's say if you're working on a project, and let's say, you think that, you don't have XYZ technical skill, then being upfront about it and say, like, I don't have the skill, but I'm willing to learn. So being vulnerable is also a great way to make those connections, because people really build on genuine connections through that way. And also like sharing your story, your personal story, where you come from through LinkedIn. I've seen many international students posting about their struggles and their obstacles and their accomplishments, and there's huge engagement from other people because everyone's looking for inspiration and hope. And by sharing your story, you don't know who you'd be inspiring along the way. So I want to turn to Q&A from our audience member. Our participants have joined today. Does anybody have any burning questions for our panelists today? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away. Yes, Mario?
Hey, Nana, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Or I think, Kwan, you actually mentioned this. Earlier, you guys said something about, leveraging that you don't want the current, when you're a contractor, you don't want the current company that you're with see you go with a competitor. What is a good way to sort of be like, hey, I'm getting this offer somewhere else, without sort of being mean about it, or like them, like, say, I don't know. I've had previous experiences with friends that, I have a friend that works for IBM, and he switched from like IBM to Dell a couple of times, sort of doing this whole like, oh, I get a better offer over there. But I feel like he kind of has this perception that he's just trying to find the better deal or get more money. Do you have any recommendations on as to not seem like you're being opportunistic in a way?
Barely doing anything.
Okay, so I can help you. It's not you, right? It's your friend.
Well, yes. I mean, this is for me, but like, I was just giving you an example that my friend just kind of like does this back and forth. So, but I don't want to seem like that. I don't want to seem opportunistic. Like, hey, they're giving me better money, or like, but at the same time, I do want the better offer, but I don't want to seem opportunistic, if that makes sense.
So, I was executive recruiter, so I know how to help you with this. The best way is you don't go for the money, but you go for the opportunity. If the money is just a little bit lower, but then you can see the career path, then you use that as your your base to negotiate. It really depends, like, with the two opportunities, where do you want the most, right? So if you want the money, then go for the money. Don't need to negotiate. They give me a better role, better position, better package. The best way to say is an opportunity that I can't refuse. That's it. And then
all right, thank you.
it's the opportunity that I can't refuse. You don't need to tell anything else if it's something that you want. But if something that you wanted to come back and negotiate with the company, then you will say, I love working here. Is there any opportunity for us to blah, 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 talk about the role, talk about increase a little bit of compensation. I really love working here. I want to make a difference. I want to make an impact like I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you did. And that's it. Make sense?
Yes, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mario. And I think Shruti had her hand up next. Shruti, do you want to?
Yes. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for all the information and sharing your experiences with me. And I also want to apologize way ahead. I have a bad throat, so if I'm coughing, I'm sorry. So I'm currently interning with Siemens as their operations intern, and it's been going really great. And I heard all your tips that you had, and I think I've been on the right path so far. And my only concern is, so I have 2 opportunities. So my internship will end in like next 3 weeks. And there's 2 opportunities, and one is to convert part-time in a different team, and the other one is to convert part-time in my team. And also a situation happened yesterday where one of the analysts is moving, and my manager was really excited that I could, get into that position, and that would be a very easy transition, and also could be a very good opportunity to get a full-time. And the only concern that is now a problem is that I won't be graduating until December. So, and they're not sure if they can wait till then. But they were also happy to have me part-time. So it's also confusing and also sad at the same time, because I'm kind of, letting it slip out of my hands. And do I suggest him like keep me part-time and then help me transition? Or should I just, only focus on part-time for now and let that position slip away? I don't know what to do.
I think Kwan already know the answer, and I would agree with Kwan.
I think the same way, Nana. I was like, we're sending vibes right now. So definitely don't, right? So I think Shutri, first, congratulations. You are
Thank you.
visible. Yes, right? So
Yeah.
congratulations. That is amazing, and nothing to worry. Right now, they already like you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
Just share your situation with your supervisor and with the team that you'll be working with. If they really like you, they will try to find a solution to solve this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you are an international student, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Does your CPT allow you to work full-time? You have that full-time CPT?
No, so that's the thing. So like after summer, I can only do part-time, and they're happy to have me part-time as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So share your situation with them. If they love you, they will find a way.
Okay. But also the other thing is that the other job, the other team that's ready to have me part-time, that is the new CFO's previous team. And the CFO is actually looking forward to meeting me next week. And I don't know if I should say no to him and just be comfortable with my team. And I also know if the position he has for me, if it will help me transition into full-time or not. But I know that my team will. So I don't even know how to handle the situation.
I saw both Farheen and Nana shook their heads. Who would like to start first? Nana, would you like to add your thoughts, and then Farheen?
So, Shruti, until you have a solid offer in your hand, you should never say no to anybody.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, well, I don't know where to go.
So that could be something to work out, because you can share the situation with both teams and see who love you, who wanted to support you, and it doesn't matter. You are the talent. They want you. They like you. They see that you can make an impact. The most important thing is you know how to make an impact in either of the team. Which of the one that is easier for you to make an impact, show them. Show them in the work that you do now, and refine the message a little bit on this is how I can help you with, even though I'm a part-time employee right now, but I can, like I mentioned, remember doing things better, faster, more efficient, whatever opportunity you can find to make that impact in either the team, then you do it, and never say no until you land a solid opportunity.
Yeah, I think that makes complete sense. Thank you.
I agree with what Nana and Kwan said. I think look at it as a, like a dating scenario, yeah, right? When you're dating someone, you would not say no to the next person who's interested in you, because you'll wait for someone to ask you for the next step, right? You're not going to settle. You're going to keep like meeting other people. So the same philosophy applies here, right? You don't want to shut down on an offer or an opportunity because you're waiting to hear back from another department or from someone else. And before you even delve into a situation, I would really recommend to take that opportunity to have great conversation, see how you can connect with the CFO. Maybe you guys have similar interests, hobbies, projects that they worked on. Maybe he has a certification that you're interested in, just try to build that connection. And then after that, maybe you can ask them like, hey, what projects are you working on? Let me learn more. And then as you build that connection, you can start, bringing that conversation up, as you start building that relationship or that connection with the CFO. But yeah, never say no until someone actually makes an offer to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Farheen. That's really helpful. Thank you.
That's a great problem to have.
Yes,
I know.
is.
I love it. Kind of low-key loving it, but yeah, also stressing over it.
And from our culture, it's very common that we want to be humble and like follow the guideline, and don't want to see ourselves as an opportunistic person. It's like if you are sure that you will take it, then you say yes. If you are not sure, you don't want to say it, right? But in the US, just go with the flow.
But then you don't say it in like a brag way. It's just, the person that Mario was mentioning about, oh, they paid me better. If you want me, pay more. That kind of attitude is not going to fly anywhere in the world. Not only in the US, it's anywhere in the world. So be humble, yet stand out. Right. So that will be you can be your own identity with whatever that you have, but you need the edge, and then stand out without being a brag.
True. So good.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Definitely. And one keyword that I really love, is when someone in like high ranking support you, say that, oh, I feel grateful that you trust in my capabilities. Use that keyword. Okay.
Yes, will do. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Great job.
We have time for one more.
I think we have one more question. Alisa, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, so thank you everyone for sharing all these wonderful advices. And also Farheen, I heard that a while ago you shared a lot about your internship experience, and what really caught my curiosity is when you said that you spoke to someone and you mentioned that you're an international student, and even before you graduated, he was willing to make you an offer. And also you mentioned, I think it was Nana or someone that you should be an advocate for yourself. And so I just wanted to ask you, how were you able to do that, in a sense that given our situation as international students, there's this like already like conception or like an impression that's not really in our favor. So how were you able to do that? Can you please share it with us?
Can you repeat the last sentence? That international student with repetition of what?
Yeah, usually for international students, we have this not so positive reputation that often when people know that we're international students, they're not as willing, or they're not really interested anymore given the extra step that they need to take. So how are you able to advocate yourself despite the situation?
Maybe Juan would be a better person to answer this in your framework, but you can advocate before we go. You can advocate for yourself no matter where you are in the world. I was advocating myself in France when I've never been in France, and I was international. I don't speak French.
Right. So true, Nana. I think that's the right mindset. First of all, set aside of you being different than other people. You is who you are. Okay, it's like, don't think that I am an international student, I need to have sponsorship in the future. Set that aside. Don't use that as a problem. Okay, focus on the value that you can contribute. Build your story. Okay, as someone who very hardworking, great at people, right? Be a great operator. Like I mentioned, the essential leadership model. Be a great operator, value creator, and people person. Set aside being an international student who need work sponsorship in the future. Yes.
And
sounds great.
If many international students can get a job, so can you.
Yes, exactly.
I think my advice would be, don't look at being an international student a bad thing. It's actually a great thing because you're bringing on an extra layer of uniqueness to yourself that domestic students don't have. You have, you can speak different languages, you can adapt, you can, you have traveled the world, you have global experiences, and you have navigated a foreign land. Like that talks about resiliency and determination and focus. And which employer wouldn't want that, right? So when you're talking about advocation, and if you're talking about like a future prospective employer or hiring manager, I would spin it as, I'm someone who has global experience. I have worked in this project, and I am bilingual or trilingual even, right? So it's a selling point in itself. Like I can write a whole paragraph on that, or like a book about that.
Let's do that, Farheen.
So don't see that as a bad thing. Actually, that is what I used to sell myself for my first internship. And about the second internship with this employer, I mean, it just, to be honest with you, with this internship, I actually applied 3 times. I got in the 4th time. So during the interview, I was laughing and I'm like, this is a dream that I'm interviewing with you because I failed. And this is the 4th time this is the 4th time that I had to apply for you, to get invited for an interview. And he was actually inspired by that. He's like, wow, you're very resilient. You didn't give up the first time. And I'm like, through the conversation, it just happened to be that when I was applying, I was in a freshman year or sophomore year, and that was not the class that they were looking for. So maybe it's just time and opportunity. So yeah, use your story, not as a bad thing, but as a good thing, because you never know who's listening and who can connect to that. And in addition to that, I think if it's like a global company, like let's say maybe you want to work for Deloitte or like, PwC or Microsoft or Google, like to them, they don't really care. All you have to worry about is, sell your skills, sell your story, and, making those connections, I think goes a long way. I think we're almost towards the end. Mm-hmm. So before I hand it over to Kwan to make some special announcement, I would love everyone to go on LinkedIn and share any key advice that resonated with you. And of course, use the reaction button to, to welcome and thank Nana and Kwan for their wonderful nuggets of advice. And now over to you, Kwan.
All right. And thank you so much, Farheen. And everyone, please use this hashtag ICOA coaching. All right.